Hey everyone, it's Aesah, and welcome to my guide on using Reforgers. In the current set, you get Reforgers extremely frequently, and I frequently see them misused, honestly, so I figured a video on this topic is going to be pretty important. Um, so there's a few factors. I'll just pop all these up and we can talk through them one at a time. What you can make if you miss. So oftentimes you'll get a Reforger on neutrals. You'll get like 4 components at the same time with a Reforger. So Um, I guess the best example is if you get 3, you want to reforge the one that even if you completely miss your reforge, you can still make something decent with the 2 left over that is kind of your backup safe option. That's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you want to gamble depending on how much you need something, but in general, you're going to want a safe option. How many outs you have? This is just like how many things you're looking to hit. So oftentimes, again, let's say we have 3 components and we're trying to reforge one of them and we choose to reforge one, and we can think, okay, like bow is good here, sword is good here, glove is good here. The more outs you have, the more likely it should be to reforge. So definitely something to think about. What components are weak in your composition? This is more early game. A lot of times on 3-1, for example. But one of the most extreme compositions is Bruiser Fiddle. It wants almost 0 bows and swords. So if you have 2 swords, it's an obvious reforge on one of them just because yeah, that composition just doesn't want any swords at all. Almost never reforge full items. Reforging full items is just really risky. I actually just played a game where I was playing completely full AP. I was playing Vigar reroll. I reforged my I built a Sunfire early in the game, and then later I built a Morello, so I just full reforged my Sunfire. I ended up getting a Last Whisper, which was weaker than my Sunfire. Uh, and it wasn't that unlikely for me to miss, because I could have gotten Deathblade, Hurricane, Infinity Edge. All of these things would have been worse than having a Sunfire, in addition to the Morello I already have, but I thought it was worth the gamble, just because Sunfire is not that much value either. That being said, just you should do it very, very sparingly. And you can do it if you're. It's a little bit better if your comp can use both AD and AP items. That makes there be a lot less misses. Because again, in my spot, I just named like 8 different items that are misses, and I'm sure there's some more that I forgot about. Um, I figured this is kind of hard to explain, so I figured I would go through several game examples that I've marked in my stream. So this is my first example. I'm playing Rengar reroll. I have cut purse, so you can actually farm this on neutrals if you're wondering why I put my board like this. And I get dropped a bunch of components with a Reforger. So I have rod, I have 4 components and a Reforger here. So I'm always making handed justice on my Rengar with this tier, and then I have 3 components left, rod, glove. So in this case, should I use my Reforger? I don't think I need to reforge just because Death Cap is already very close to a best in slot Varus item, and then I can save my Reforger and just hold the glove because I would only have 1 component left after making Death Cap. There's no point in reforging the glove now. If it were a bad component, I could reforge it going into the carousel to kind of see what my options are. I think it was like Chain, maybe I would reforge going into carousel. I wouldn't need to do it right now, right? Because let's say I had even if I had a chain here, just reforging it, having something sit on my bench is not that impactful. Maybe I'll get an augment that'll affect my decision. But yeah, so no need to reforge here. On this carousel, I get an Urgot, which is really lucky. And I think I should have reforged Cloak here. My kind of thought process was there's 2 more rounds until neutrals, so I'll just wait and then maybe I'll want to reforge something else. However, Cloak is just not that good of an item. I think I can make Hurricane. I can make Adaptive as some options. I don't hate keeping the cloak. I think this decision is really close, honestly, because I do have Hurricane and Adaptive as backline options. I don't really want to make frontline that much, and I already have Even Shroud, which is normally one of the best uses of cloak. So I think I should just reforge here, potentially get some tempo. There's a decent bit of full items I can make. Guardbreaker is really good. Thief's Close is fine. Um, Last Whisper is not amazing because I have Even Shroud, but Infinity Edge and Jewel Gauntlet are like not amazing, but they're acceptable. Okay, sorry, I feel like I'm talking myself out of reforging Cloak now because there's actually not that many things that I can make. Okay, now, yeah, I feel like I'm talking myself out of reforging Cloak. Anyway, So I save it. And what options do we have? I guess definitely a takeaway you can have is using a Reforger is a really complicated decision for sure. There's a lot of factors to think about. So here I have cloak, belt, and glove. And I have my anvil. So always pop your anvil first before you decide to reforge. I had to roll, so I was a little slow on this round, but ideally you budget some time at the end. But you can pop your anvil and then decide what you want to reforge. That's just a good habit to have because sometimes you'll be able to see exactly like what combinations of items you can make. So here, I pop my anvil, I can see I can immediately make Guardbreaker, and that'll be good. And I should reforge the cloak first before I make the Guardbreaker because it could affect my decision. So that was actually a mistake by me there. Always reforge first because after you see this, maybe it changes what you might make. But in this case, it ended up working out perfectly. I got sword, so I took Shojin on Varus, which is his best in slot item. Oh, I tried to take Shojin on Varus, but I misclicked and made Deathblade, which ended up working out okay because I already have a Urgot, so it actually ended up working out fine. But yeah, definitely some mistakes here, and I think we're about to see some even bigger mistakes in the next example. So in this next example, I am playing Nitro Exotech, and I took Trait Tracker. I considered maybe fitting in like Yumi to like use some of these emblems over here, but I decided not to. So I basically got 3 pretty good emblems: Bastion, Marksman, and Dynamo, all usable. And I had 3 that I wanted to reforge, so I put them on my Nidalee. In case I got a Reforger, that's kind of my plan. So I got a Reforger here, so in here, 3 emblems is way more valuable than reforging any component. So the obvious thing to do, I think the decision here is not even close. It's just to reforge in Italy. There's no question about it. However, I do want to say, hypothetically, let's say we didn't have Trait Tracker and we had these components, what would I reforge? We already have Anti-Heal, so I don't need Sunfire or Morello. I want to use an AP carry because I have an Elise 2 with a Morello already. I'm in a really good spot, 100 HP, high rolling. I have upward mobility, so I feel very, very confident I can make it to Viego and Aurora. So depth cap is really, really good. I'm just gonna make that immediately, and then I would have belt chain left, and I don't want to make Sunfire. So I think in this case, reforging either one could be acceptable, honestly. Both of them would make quite a lot of good items. Chain, would probably just immediately slammed. If I reforged the belt, I would probably immediately slam like Crown Guard, Steadfast, Bramble, Stoneplate, a second Val. There's quite a lot of good options, but I think belt is even a little bit better. I would immediately slam Guardbreaker, Warmogs, Redemption. I think there might actually be a little bit less options, but I think the item quality is a little higher. It's definitely getting pretty nuanced, and this is a really complicated decision. Uh, but like again, hypothetically, if I didn't have emblems, that's what I would do. Obviously, here you would just reforge 3 emblems. I forgot to do that, so I reforged my chain, and I ended up hitting Redemption, which is amazing, and I just slammed that immediately. But yeah, that was my bad for not reforging my emblems here. Next example. Okay, so here I'm playing Rengar. I took big grab bag on 3-2. This is my spot. It gives me a Reforger. Why did I take this? I feel like this is not that good. Oh, I think, yeah, my options were just not that good. Clockwork Accelerators, not very good in Rengar. It's a really bursty comp. Lotus is not good in Executioner. Bad Luck Protection is also not good in Executioner. Both of these interfere with the Executioner crit, basically. You just don't get value from Lotus, so... I don't think Big Grab Bag is that good here, but I don't really like my options. So I have 5 components and I have the choice to reforge. I think I'm always making Morello just because having Morello AoE anti-heal is just really good. So then I'm kind of debating between the other options. And I think making Thief's Gloves is acceptable, just kind of for tempo. It's not amazing, but with Big Grab Bag, you kind of have extra items anyways. A lot of times, Thief's Gloves, if you don't have an item augment, it's pretty costly because then it sets you back on fully itemizing your main units. But I have item augments, so I'm already fine. Like my ranker is already full build, so it's okay to build here. And then I would have a sword left over, so I don't need to reforge the sword right away. I can just let it sit. I can just let it sit here and go into carousel. On carousel, I got a glove, and I don't really want to make Infinity Edge, so I'm just gonna wait. I don't feel like super pressured again with slamming items, so this is kind of a little different topic. I could have a one item jinx with Infinity Edge. It is a jinx too, but it's just with only one item by itself, it's just not gonna be that impactful. Maybe it helps me maybe like this fight would have been an Infinity Edge difference, but like a lot of times maybe slamming it doesn't matter. Silver Mirror's Rengar's best item, so I take it. I want to put it on Rengar, and I have another decision here. Pretty interesting decision, honestly. And I mentioned very, very rarely reforge full items. However, I think this might be the spot for one of them because I consider reforging the Sterix because I eventually don't want Sterix on Rengar. I built it for tempo. I didn't really have any other options. Um, but it's just not that good because I don't want on Rengar late game. He's my most important unit, so I really want good items on him. Sterix is passable, but I would rather have it on someone else, and no one else in my entire composition can use Sterix. I can also use any AD item on Jinx, any AP item on Varus, and I can use tank items as well. I don't even have Shred of any kind, so I could use either of those. The only real misses are like if I get like a second Morello or like a Sunfire. That's pretty much like the only thing that's bad. Items like Sterix would also be misses, like if I hit Edge of Night or Titans, but there's just not that many misses, so I decided to go for a full reforge here. I think I actually got a little dizzy, so I didn't do it yet. I couldn't really figure out what to do, but I think what I should have done here is full reforge Sterix with my least valuable component, which I think I couldn't decide because I couldn't decide what to reforge. Sometimes you just have the components you want and you don't need to reforge. I would probably reforge a sword, even though the sword is not that bad, because I could just build Giant Slayer and Guardbreaker and have a sword left over for Shojin, which is best in slot Varus. Like that'd be completely fine. Um, so I don't have to reforge right away. But reforging a sword just gives me more options. For example, if I hit the tier, I could just make Shojin immediately and have a stronger tempo on this stage. But yeah, I couldn't really figure it out. So I slammed Giant Slayer. I figured out I was always making that with two swords and a bow. I already have anti-heal. I have a component anvil too. Oh, sorry, I took Refactor on 4-2, so now I got a component anvil. I was just too confused. I really need to make a decision here, but I'm just 4 components on my bench, so this is actually pretty bad. This is just bad play. So yeah, now I'm 5 components on bench basically. Um, I got a chain off carousel. Why did I get a chain? Oh, okay. So yeah, 1 cost belt, 5 cost chain. I definitely don't want chain, so now I'm already thinking, okay, I'm gonna reforge this chain with my Sterix. But I was too slow here, so I pop my anvil. I already know I want to reforge this chain, so I stuck it over here, or I just stuck it on someone, I guess. And so what am I thinking with my items? I'm thinking Shojin for sure, Shojin Guardbreaker. I don't know if that's what I actually made. I played these games earlier today, but that's what I hope I made. It looks like that's what I'm thinking about. And then yeah, I decided I would give myself a little bit more options first. Oh, I should okay. Another mistake. I should have forced chain here instead of belt. This comp just wants more offensive items, but this is okay. I think I just didn't see it honestly. And now that I hit this, yeah. One really important thing. Sorry, I mentioned tier for Shojin, but one really important thing with reforging the Sterix is I have to have a third Rengar item. I can't just gamble that I'm going to reforge into a Rengar item, but here I always have Hand of Justice no matter what as a backup. So yeah. And then I got another Reforger here on 5-1. So I have this. I have 2 chains, a bow, and some stuff down here. The way I'm looking at it now, I think I would just reforge 1 chain first, and then kind of get my decisions. Reforging double components is really good, just because unless you want to make Bramble, I still, even if I reforge a chain, I still have the option to make any chain item. Okay, I guess I didn't do that. I guess I just made Bramble. Maybe I was just happy enough with that. Then I make shift, save the forger. Okay. I think I think this is probably a mistake. I think I should have reforged the chain first. It would give me a little bit more options. But I guess I thought this was fine. Did I ever use this reforger? Oh yeah. Well, I guess sometimes it comes in handy where you get nothing you want off carousel because I'm last pick and I just reforge this Quicksilver. I could just use the Quicksilver, but I think it's not that great of an item. And this is, again, I've reforged a full item twice already, and the first time it worked out, I think I got Archangel over Sterix, but the second time, this is why I say to rarely do it, it's very, very risky. Now I got a Rage Blade, and that's worse than Quicksilver, so yeah, definitely a risk involved. That's going to wrap it up on this video for how to use Reforgers and my thought process with some examples. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the Discord, and thanks for watching.